All right, everyone, I think it is time. Time for this story-focused playthrough to continue. Well, hello everybody and welcome. Welcome to PlayFrame and welcome to Story Mode. If you're new here, hello, my name is Dan, and this is an ongoing and very accelerated story-focused playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm very excited because today we are finally going to be starting the first expansion of Final Fantasy XIV, the fan-favorite Heavensward. There's a lot to look forward to. If you are just joining us here now, I do recommend, by the way, going back. I have played through the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, the base game of this MMO. I will link to a playlist up in the corner there. And I highly recommend watching that first if you haven't, because although the story does start getting way more interesting from here on in Final Fantasy XIV, jumping right into this at Heavensward would be kind of like jumping into the third season of a TV show and skipping the first two. You're going to get a little bit lost. Now, I do actually, at some point, if I find time, I would love to make a story summary video for A Realm Reborn so people can just very quickly catch up and then jump right into Heavensward if they want to. Haven't found time for that yet. If I have managed, by the time you're watching this, if I have managed to find time to make that video, I will link to it up in the corner right now. Otherwise, hopefully I will someday have time for that. Anyway, before we jump in, just one final thing. Let us all please be courteous down in the comments section and avoid posting spoilers of any kind. A lot of people are watching this playthrough series and experiencing the Final Fantasy XIV story for the first time, and I would not want to take away that first-time experience from anyone. So let's all be courteous down there in the comment section, please. And with that, let's get started. I think it only makes sense to begin this playthrough by watching the opening cinematic trailer for this game. So without further ado, welcome to Heavensward, everyone. Enjoy! Man, the trailer cinematics to these games are good. Welcome to Heavensward. As I said, I hope you like dragons and I hope you like snow. There will be plenty of both ahead. All right, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Let me go ahead and log in and let's check in with our little guy. There he is. If you are just joining us, this is our little tiny warrior of light. This is Durmin. Say hello. He's very pleased to meet you, or see you again, as the case may be. But yes, we are here outside of Ishgard, probably soon to be inside of Ishgard. We're on the run. Honestly, you probably watched A Realm Reborn before this, so you know where things are at. But, yeah. Let's check in with our little team here. Now, I should let y'all know, just as a little reminder, if you were watching the A Realm Reborn series, from here on, most all of the voice actors have been recast. All the new cast is great, but just be forewarned, it may take it may take an episode or two to adjust. And imagine, like, you can go directly from A Realm Reborn directly into Heavensward quests right away if you want to, and it's pretty jarring hearing, like, A Realm Reborn Alphino, and then 20 seconds later hearing Heavensward and Onward Alphino. But yeah, it's okay. The weirdness will pass. Tataru, how are you?
No matter how long it takes, I have faith we'll find the others. With Lady Yuguri's shinobi, Urianje's intelligence, and my versatility, there's nothing we cannot do.
That's the spirit. Alphino, how are we doing? The time for action has come, and Alphino knows what he must do.
The dawn's light will shine again. So long as we have these specious accusations hanging over us, we will struggle to achieve anything. You must go to Ishgard, as Tataru proposed. I will return to Uldar and set things right.
Pray, do not be so hasty, Master Alphino.
Lord Orchefon.
Full well do I understand your desire to clear your names. But now is not the time for drastic action. You yet have allies upon whom you can rely. There is no need to act alone.
Yes, tiny allies.
Yes. Yes, of course. Pray forgive my impatience.
I bring tidings. Count Edmond has decreed that the three of you be taken in as wards of House Fortan. Under our patronage, you shall be granted access to the city proper. Pray, consider our manor your new headquarters, from which you may gather information and plan how best to proceed. Needless to say, should any of your missing allies be found, as I am certain they shall, they will of course be welcome to join you there.
You are more than generous, my friend. On behalf of my fellows, I humbly accept your offer of hospitality.
The Count is a good man, and just. He will treat you with the kindness and respect that a hero and dear friend deserves.
To Ishgard, then. Together. There we shall carry on the Scion's legacy. There we shall begin anew.
Hear, hear!
That we shall. Hey, enjoy the new quest music. Every expansion brings new quest accepted and quest complete sound cues. Takes a little while to get used to that too, but it's all right. That's just the experience.
They say the winds can be rather fierce on the steps of faith. Be sure to wrap up before we go.
Don't tell me, I always dress for the occasion. It's this little guy you gotta look out for. Not at all the circumstances under which I had hoped to visit Ishgard for the first time, but so be it. No shade to Sam Riegel, but I really do like the new Alphino voice actor. You can hear his youth a little bit more in this voice, and I like that. Or Chiffon, how you doing? I must go on ahead and speak with the Count. Fear not, however, for everything has been arranged. The sentries at the gates of judgment have been informed of our decision. You need but state your names, and they will allow you to pass. My manservant shall be waiting for you at the city gates, ready to escort you to our manor, where we shall meet again. Until then. Sounds good. All right, let's get ourselves to the gates. Haven't been there since we were saving the city from the biggest of dragons. This arrival will hopefully be much less eventful. But now, at long last, we get to go to this city. I'm so excited. Because the three big capital cities we've experienced thus far are all well and good, but Heavensward steps up 14 in a whole lot of different ways, and in ways that you can kind of expect to see as the norm from here on, and Ishgard is a real step up as a hub city. I really love it. Wards of House Forton? Ah yes, you may pass. Proceed to Ishgard.
And so they came, at a friend's behest. Heroes once celebrated as saviors of Eorzea, brought low through treachery, their names blackened with royal blood. With memories of the lost and dreams of redemption, with hope yet in their hearts, they came. To Ishgard, shining city on the mount, overlooking the dominion of Kurthus. A great and proud nation, devoted to Helone, the Fury, ruled by Thordan VII, Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. The last bastion of the faith, her walls ever bristling with the sworn swords and spears of her 4 high houses. A land that after 1,000 years of war had forgotten what it was to be at peace. Through gates long closed, the warrior of light and his companions passed, entering at last a city whose history was written in blood. In the midst of the Dragonsong War they came, 3 weary travelers whose arrival would set in motion great change. Though none knew then how great.
From the Memoirs of Count Edmond de Forton, Heavensward. I've forgotten how big the step up in presentation style is, too, as well. Again, much more like what the game is like kind of from here on out, but I just forgotten how sudden a leap there kind of was. Buddy, you finally dressed for the weather. At last, character growth. From afar, the spires did not seem so tall. How are you doing?
Gods, I feel like a child in a giant's castle.
It is pretty impressive. We're going to be spending a lot of time here, and it's quite large, so soak it in. Greetings, Master Durami. On behalf of House Fortom, I bid you welcome to Ishgard. My lord humbly requests your presence at his residence in the Pillars. If you all would come with me. Can do. You know what, first things first, let's go ahead and attune to this thing, if they'll allow us. It's going to make travel a lot more convenient. There we are. Perfect. Okay. So where are we headed in this town? Ah, to the next northern section. So we're kind of in the southern entrance here. Headed northward toward the other half of town, the Pillars. And yeah, just the design, scale, art, just everything in Ishgard really feels like a bit of a step up from previous towns. Much more variety in music as well. You will hear, like, we're going to be in here a lot, but you're going to hear kind of a variety of versions of different themes. You're going to hear, I think, different music for both the north and southern half of the city. Also, different versions for daytime and nighttime. Just a lot of variety, and I think I might be going the wrong way. You know what, let me get to where I'm supposed to be. Here we go. This is the general area, I think. I want to attune to more of these so we can fast travel around within town a bit more because it's a much bigger town. Just a good habit to get in. To look upon the splendor of these heights, one would little suspect the ruin wrought by the wyverns below. Or is it wyverns? I really should learn how to say that word correct. The warrior of light and his brave companions walking the streets of Ishgard at last. What a glorious sight. I cannot tell you how long I've waited for this day. Allow me to present you to my family home, Fortom Manor. I should like nothing more than to show you around, but everyone's gathered to receive you. Come, my friends, introductions must be made. He's so excited. And who can blame him?
My lord, I have returned with the Scions.
I hope your journey was not too taxing. I, Count Edmond de Fortom, do bid you welcome. As wards of House Fortom, you shall be afforded every courtesy. My home is your home.
My companions and I are deeply honored, Count Fortom.
The honor is mine, Master Alphino. Consider it an expression of our gratitude for your service to Ishgard.
Forgive me, my lord, but are you not concerned? To accept foreign guests at such a juncture, especially ones with our reputation.
Do not worry yourself on my account. 'Tis true that Ishgard's first thought has ever been the war effort, hence the closing of our borders, yet it is in troubled times most of all that men should seek allies. Don't you think? Granted, my decision will have raised eyebrows in the vault and in the halls of the other high houses. But so long as you continue with your altruistic endeavors, I doubt my honored peers will feel moved to voice their concerns.
Then there is naught to fear. Though our numbers are much reduced, we are no less determined to carry on our work.
Full glad am I to hear it. But before you return to your labors, why not take a tour of the city? You would do well, I think, to acquaint yourselves with your new surroundings. After all, you may be here for some time.
That's not a bad idea. This room in particular, I just really love the design of this. Just gorgeous art in here. It's real impressive. Sorry, I'm going to be probably really annoying for this first episode or so, just in my excitement at being in Heavensward. Because I haven't played Heavensward in a while, so I'm just kind of excited to re-experience this with all of you. So, what do you think? Be honest, it's great, isn't it? See, at least I'm not alone in my enthusiasm.
So this is what the inside of the manor of a high house looks like. To think that Lord Orchiphon was raised here.
Let's meet some folks. Greetings, Master Durmin. How may I be of assistance? Oh, goodness. Didn't expect to be able to ask you questions. What do you do here? Me? Why, I'm but a humble steward sworn to House Forton. I doubt you wish to hear the minutiae of my duties. Simply put, at the behest of my lord the Count, I manage household affairs. I have served at his pleasure for more than 50 years, and by the Fury's grace I shall serve for 50 more. Tell me about House Forton. By the way, I have gotten into the habit through this series, honestly, of making time to actually stop and click on characters and hear their dialogue in between, kind of like continuing the main quest. And I'm glad I have been doing that, because there's a lot of story packed into these that I had not realized was there. So, if you see me stopping to click and talk with everybody more frequently, that's why. The origins of House Forton can be traced back to King Thordan and his Knights 12. Ours was one of the 4 founding houses of Ishgard. Accordingly, our interests extend far beyond the walls of the city proper. Camp Dragonhead, for instance, is our responsibility. As for the family, you have of course met my lord, Count Edmond de Forton. He is the head of our house. His 2 sons, my lords Artoirel and Emmanuelen, are next in line. May the Fury watch over and keep them from harm. As for those sworn to House Forton, in addition to the knights, squires, and infantry, more than 100 craftsmen, retainers, and other servants possessed of notable skill are pledged to our service. Given our strong position, one might expect us to have no truck with foreign merchants and sellswords. However, nothing could be further from the truth. I should think that my lord and the Count was quite clear on this point, but it was our hope that you and your allies would, by your deeds, help us to convince the other high houses of the wisdom in opening the gates of judgment to all, among other things. More than anything else, though, I suspect he saw in you potential. Tell me of Ishgard. More than 1,000 years ago, Halone appeared before King Thordan I and bade him lead his people to the Promised Land, to the lands we now call home. And so the king and his Knights 12 did as was commanded. They came to Kurthus to found a great kingdom in the Fury's name. But the great worm Nidhogg would not have it so. With hatred in his heart, Nidhogg sought out King Thordan. In the ensuing battle, the king and half his knights were slain. But his son Haldreth rallied the others and drove back the fell beast. Thus did the war between our peoples begin, the war between dragon and man. For 1,000 years, Ishgard has stood against the Horde, and not once were our defenses breached, until the day Lady Iceheart's allies shattered our wards on the steps of faith. Though the wyverns were slain before they could breach our defenses here, those in Foundation were not so fortunate. Unarmed men, women, even children were made to feel the Dravanians' wrath. Walls can be rebuilt, but lives lost can never be reclaimed. My lord the Count knows this all too well. That was a lot more than I expected. Goodness. By the way, if you ever get tired of me stopping and talking to everybody, I do make a habit of putting timestamps down in the video description, and you can just like highlight over the YouTube timeline down here, and I've made it easy for you to skip ahead to the next quest or something if you are wanting to. Just let you know. Okay, you know, we haven't even met you two yet. Let's move along. As I said before, my home is your home. After all you've done on our behalf, it's the least I can offer. All right. Alphino has a mind to learn more about Ishgard. Though our friends in House Forton have been generous enough to extend us their protection, we must take care not to impose too much on their hospitality. It's only proper that we learn about our new home, so that we might become more self-sufficient.
It'll take a while to learn the lay of the land, but learn it we must. Then there's the markets and taverns. We'll need to know where to shop and where to hear small talk.
'Twould seem a tour of the city is indeed in order. I thank you for your counsel, my lord. My companions and I shall, of course, do as you suggest. Very good. Then my manservant shall accompany you. He will be able to answer any questions you might have. Ah, but I grow forgetful in my dotage. There is something I must give you ere we part. Their documentation is in order, I trust? Yes, my lord. I'm so short. Those documents identify you as wards of House Forton. Given that our borders have remained closed for decades, many of my countrymen are unaccustomed to treating with foreigners. Should anyone happen to question your presence here, it may prove necessary to remind them that you remain under the protection of House Forton. But let us hope it shall not come to that. Rest assured that we shall do our utmost to avoid any situation which might compel us to invoke your name. Durmin, Tataru, the city awaits.
Let's go.
All right, Team Tiny, let's get a look at this city. I confess, it had long been a dream of mine to visit Ishgard. To my childish self, her towers, bridges, and cobbled streets seemed akin to something from a fairy tale, and I've never quite outgrown the fantasy.
I'm glad I have a map.
Where'd you get a map? As this is your first time in our fair city, pray permit me to show you to the Hoplon, from whence we may gaze upon the splendor of the Holy Vault. Though all other sights pale in comparison, 'tis only meet that you see it first. I shall then show you around the Jeweled Crochet, where you may purchase all manner of goods and services, before descending to Foundation's Aetheryte Plaza. If there are no questions... Alright, let's look around. I've had to learn quite a bit. French, or at least French-adjacent names and name pronunciations in preparation. And I'm still going to botch names anyway, so apologies for that, but I'll do my best. The Elezen just really tends to like French-sounding names. The Holy Vault, where Archbishop Thordan VII rules from on high. The Hoplon, so named for the bronze great shield borne by our nation's patron deity, is the largest plaza in Ishgard. The magnificent cathedral to the north is, of course, the Holy Vault. The vault is both Ishgard's seat of governance and the residence of the Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Begging your pardon, the statues to the south, are they perchance Thordan's famed Knights 12? Very good, Master Alphino. They are the fathers of Ishgard, the brave knights who joined with King Thordan I to put down Nidhogg and found this great nation. Ours is a city rich in history and tradition. There's much you can learn by exploring the pillars. Time permitting, of course. Look how gorgeous this city is. Now then, if you would follow me to the Jeweled Crochet, I shall introduce you to Mistress LS, our Master of the Markets. It's even prettier in daylight, but you'll have plenty of chances to see it. Here we are. Probably better attuned to this. Make future me's life easier. I'll probably grab the rest of these off camera once the episode's over. Again, just for my own sake. Hello. Well, you're clearly not locals or traveling peddlers, which makes you all... Hello. Ah, wards of House Fortin. How very interesting. Count Edmond has granted us leave to remain in Ishgard for as long as we wish, which may be some time. Accordingly, we will have need of sundry goods, hence our desire to make your acquaintance. That is, of course, assuming you are content to accept the custom of foreigners. Should you be uncomfortable... Young sir, we do not discriminate in matters of money. If you have coin to spend, who are we to refuse it? Weapons, armor, accoutrement, medicine, materials, whatever your desire, it can be found in the Creuset. Our merchants will be more than happy to accommodate you, as you shall soon see. Our next destination is the Aetheryte Plaza in Foundation, if everyone is ready. And as you can hear, one of the best and most exciting things about any given Final Fantasy XIV expansion, an entire new soundtrack added to the game. This game has hundreds and hundreds of tracks added now, and each new expansion just brings new riches. And here we are down in Foundation, looking, as you can see, a little bit worse for wear. It's taken a bit of damage recently. Hello, squad. Sorry, got distracted, and then lost, and then distracted again. How's it going? And here we have Foundation's Aetheryte Plaza. If you have yet to attune to the Aetheryte, it would be wise to do so now. Done and done. Oh, and you're gonna start giving me new gear. Lovely. Well, I am a Dragoon now, so I'll take this one. Thank you. So, how are we liking the tour? If you've attuned to the Aetheryte, then let us move on. I'm eager to see more of the city. All right. Your guide is eager to continue your tour of Ishgard. As for our next destination, mayhap we should decide together. What else can be found nearby? The Skysteel manufactory stands to the west. There, our engineers conceive and manufacture weapons for use against the dragons. The Holy Stables, where chocobos are trained for war, also lie in that direction. To the north and east can be found the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly, while to the south and east, well, 'twould be best if you avoided that area. And why is that? I fear our knights may not be able to ensure your safety in the lowest levels, Master Alphino. Hold your nose when you pass the broom, little lord. A delicate flower like you's like to wilt in our fumes. You misjudge me, sir, for I'm no lord but a humble traveler. Oh, come to see the sights, have you? Take a turn down the hop lawn and gulp at the statues. But, well, if you've a mind to learn how the better half live, come and have a drink at the Forgotten Knight, if your nursemaid'll let you. My humblest apologies, Master Alphino. Pray pay that drunken lout no mind. Oh, but I must. It would not do to refuse such a heartfelt invitation. Yes, I simply must see this Forgotten Knight for myself. I trust you see the wisdom in this, Durmin. There are few sources of information more abundant than a bustling local hostelry. Not that I expect to hear any news of our missing comrades just yet. Nevertheless, who can say what we might learn of recent events?
Then I'm coming too.
Sorry, we're kind of taking control of this tour. It was only a matter of time. So, let's see. Which direction are they having me head? I think this way? Haven't spent a lot of time in this city in a while. but I do believe this is the Forgotten Knight right up here. There we are. Here we are. Must say, this is rather unusual. Not just one, but a whole party of fresh new faces in my tavern. We but recently arrived in Ishgard and are eager to acquaint ourselves with her more notable establishments. Master... Gibrion. Just Gibrion will do. I hope that's right. Gibrion? Gibrion? Could be either one, I guess. And I'm flattered you think so highly of my establishment. Can't promise it'll live up to your expectations, but if it's decent food and drink you're after, you could do much worse. Judging by the number of customers I see, I suspect your fare's rather more than decent. Speaking of your clientele, I could not help but note a difference between those who frequent the upper and lower floors. Spotted that, did you? Aye, up here you'll find peddlers, porters, off-duty knights, and so forth, dropping in on their way to or from somewhere else. Regulars maybe, but not locals. Folks from the Broom, they tend to congregate downstairs, where we offer a menu more suited to their tastes. Cheaper meals, stronger spirits. All quality, mind, but not the sort of stuff I'd recommend to yourselves. You speak of the lowest levels, yes? Why do they call them the Broom, if I may ask? 'Cause when the weather's foul and the broom rolls in thick, it's the poor sods living at the bottom who have to deal with it. I see. And it's not just the weather. When the wyverns broke through the wards and started tearing up the city, it was the Broom that got the worst of it, while the pillars enjoyed the protection of the high houses and the temple knights. More than a few people are still sore about that, mind, which is why, considering your present company, I'd recommend you keep your wits about you if you mean to go below. And something sharp in your boot, just to be sure. I shall take your words to heart, sir. Master Alphino, I think it would be best if we returned to Forton Manor.
You go on ahead without me. I'm staying for a drink or two.
Miss Tataru, I'm afraid that is out of the question. My lord the Count would never forgive me if I abandoned one of his charges in such a place, least of all a maiden. What are you up to, Tataru?
Look around, Alphino. This tavern's full of people whose business regularly takes them beyond the gates of judgment. With friends like that, I could practically live here and wait for the newest gossip to come to me.
Indeed, but will you be safe here on your own?
Oh, please. Do you know how often I looked after the Waking Sands and the Rising Stones by myself? If I had a gill for every unwelcome caller I'd driven away, I'd be rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'll be fine.
Not that I doubt the lady's knack for fending off unwanted advances, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let anyone lay an unwelcome hand on a patron in my establishment.
That settles it then. Tataru, Durmin and I shall return to the manor for now. Contact me by link pearl if you require assistance. I will.
Where would we be without her? Maybe not dead, but much less organized. All right, and we're back. Welcome, Master Durami. Shall I show you inside the manor?
Yes, please.
We're back from our tour. Well, I say we, but it's just... Alphino, where are you? Whatever. Hello. Oh, there you are. Tell us then, Master Alphino, does Ishgard meet with your expectations?
That which I imagined pales in comparison to the reality. I felt the weight of 1,000 years of history with every step I took, and when those steps took me past the scars left by the Wyverns and Foundation, I understood how easily that history could end in tragedy.
The attack was devastating, the casualties unspeakable. The Wyverns did not discriminate. Unarmed men and women, even children, were given no quarter. Sir Emmerich has ordered his knights to strengthen our defenses, and each house has been called upon to lend what support it can. There is much to be done, yet, alas, able-bodied men and women are in short supply. Mayhap we could be of assistance, my lord. After all you've done for us, we would welcome any opportunity to repay your kindness.
And I'm not busy. That is a most generous offer, Master Alphino. You are guests in my home, to whom I have extended my hospitality without obligation, let or lien. Nevertheless, Ishgard's need is great, and if you're willing to aid our cause, I cannot well refuse. Good. What would you ask of us? From what I've heard, you're an intelligent and persuasive young man. Such qualities may prove most useful to us in our efforts to secure provisions from foreign sources, identifying trustworthy suppliers, brokering contracts, and so on. As for you, Master Durami, I could ask for no one better than a storied veteran such as yourself, a man with the capacity to act swiftly and decisively when needed, to aid Artoirel and Emanolin in their duties. I beg your pardon? I am more than capable of carrying out my duty by myself. I have no need of our honored guest's assistance. Now, be reasonable, brother. What manner of fool would say no when a famous hero offered to do his work? Hold your tongues. By the Fury, the two of you will conduct yourselves with dignity befitting your station and show Master Durami the respect he deserves. This is the man who slew Gaius van Baelsar and some half-dozen primals besides. He's not here to steal your glory or serve as your errand boy. If you can pardon them their impropriety, Master Durami, I should be much obliged if you would lend my sons a helping hand. Happy to do it. My thanks. Fury willing, they may even learn something from you. Well, sounds like I've got work to do, bud. 'Twould seem we shall not want for employment over the coming days, though that was never in doubt. Our host's initial reluctance to accept our offer of aid was solely for appearance's sake. In truth, he's glad of this opportunity to put us to work. By granting us patronage, House Forton has taken a tremendous risk. Until we demonstrate our worth to Ishgard at large, the Count will face considerable opposition from his peers in matters great and small. And so he would have us publicly serve Ishgard, whilst simultaneously keeping his sons in check. 'Tis an arrangement we may benefit from in unexpected ways. My own duties may feasibly bring me into contact with people who know something of our missing comrades. And as you go about helping our two lords with their various responsibilities, you will inevitably make new acquaintances in Ishgard, mayhap even new allies. Yes, the more I think on it, the more confident I am that by furthering their goals, we shall further our own. I agree, and I don't need any of this, so thanks for the money, Alphino. Bye. All right, then. Let's see, we've got you and... Where'd the other one go? Oh, wait. Oh, there you are. Sorry, you blended into the wall a bit there. And I sensed eagerness to talk to me. Lord Artoirel is less than eager to brief you on his mission. Oh. I misread then. Let us begin anew, Master Durami. I am Sir Artoirel de Forton, eldest son of Count Edmond de Forton. You will forgive me my outburst, I hope. I meant no disrespect. I merely consider myself equal to the duties entrusted to me, unlike some. Orchiffon has spoken of you often. If you are even half the man he claims, I shall be glad to have you at my side. To the matter at hand, then. We will be assisting my esteemed compatriots of House Durandare and Zemail. You are aware of our friendly rivalry, I take it? Aye, well, suffice it to say, the prospect of assisting said houses does not fill me with joy. However, it is the will of the Holy See that we set aside our differences at this crucial juncture, but we shall speak more of that anon. First, we must need secure transport to Falcon's Nest. Let us make for the Chocobo Stables and Foundation. Okay. You may remember from our time in A Realm Reborn in Kurthus, trying to sort things out and find that airship. We were kind of bouncing around between a lot of folks from a lot of different houses, and there did seem to be a healthy amount of rivalry going on. Not a lot of friendliness in general. But okay, I need to head down to Foundation. Let's see, the chocobos were near the Sky Steel manufactory, which is right around here. Better grab this while I can before I forget. Because I will forget. There we are. Just about time to embark on our first tasks. Hello. I've secured chocobo porters for the two of us. The chocobo keep has yours. Excellent. You know what? I think I'm going to dress slightly warmer for this, because I know how cold the place we're going to is. One moment. Hey, not too bad. And much warmer looking. Look how cozy. This lovely ensemble comes from Durmin's little fairy godparent, who has been providing us with much fashion and many appropriate looks during his journey. The poncho, of course, was provided to us by Joe Cat, still lovely, and the rest of the pieces were from that fairy godparent. Just very good, very warm looking. I love it. So, let's go make ourselves useful. Greetings, Master Durami. I've saddled a black chocobo for your journey to the Western Highlands, as per Lord Artorwell's instruction. Will this be your first time riding a black chocobo, may I ask? If so, you're in for a treat. As I dare say you know, this particular breed can fly. Given the right conditions, they can carry you quite high, too, even over Snowcloak. You needn't worry about directing the bird, of course. Like all porters, she's trained to carry you to your destination all by herself, so just relax and enjoy the view. Oh, but be sure not to relax your grip, will you? 2 hands on the reins at all times, if you please. Noted. Welcome to the western side of Kurthus, everyone. And the new area we'll be spending some time.
To the frozen wastes of the Western Highlands, once verdant tracts made pallid by the calamity. Beyond the towering wall of ice, to lands long forsaken that the knights of Ishgard strove tirelessly to reclaim. To the hamlet of Falcon's Nest. Once abandoned, now freed of its pall of snow and ash, he came.
And looking sharp. So cozy. Welcome to Falcon's Nest. Hello. The world looks quite different when viewed from the back of an airborne chocobo, does it not? I still find the experience strangely liberating. This dialogue, I guess, was kind of before flight was standard and allowed in A Realm Reborn areas. I don't remember when they added that in. But yeah, flight and flying mounts were introduced in Heavensward. You don't have them right away, though, so we're going to be earthbound for a, for a while in all of these places. But that's okay. To business. Sir Redwald is in charge here. He should be expecting us. Sounds good. So nostalgic being back. For me, I guess. Not for all of you, but nostalgic for me being back in these places. It's been far, far too long, Lord Artorwell. And who might your companion be? Pray forgive us our lateness, Sir Redwald. I present to you Durmin Durami, Ward of House Fortome. Ah, yes, of course. Lord Driamel spoke of you. I, Sir Redwald of House Durandare, do bid you welcome to Falcon's Nest. We are both eager to contribute to the settlement's restoration. How may we be of service? Before we speak of that, would I be correct in assuming that Master Durami is unfamiliar with our recent history? Then, with your permission, I shall recount the tale for his benefit. As you may know, Falcon's Nest was once a hamlet with a small garrison of knights and some few villagers. And then came the calamity. When it became clear that the snow would not stop falling, we had no choice but to order a complete withdrawal. The settlement and the entirety of the Western Highlands were to be abandoned. Abandoned to the heretics. Lady Iceheart and her kind have walked these lands with impunity ever since. Aye, but no longer. The Holy See has commanded the reclamation of the Western Highlands and the expulsion of heretical elements. Falcon's Nest is key to accomplishing these objectives. But, as you can see, rebuilding the hamlet will be no small undertaking. Our craftsmen require support and protection. Any assistance you can offer will be greatly appreciated. As promised, we of House Fortom are at your disposal, Sir Redwald. You need but tell us where to begin. This dialogue's a lot easier to just read, frankly. The localizers have just gotten better and better at making this flow naturally. Also, the more expansions we do, the more voice acting starts coming into play, which is just increasingly going to make life easier for me and my voice. Sir Redwald would have you assist the craftsmen rebuilding the fortifications of Falcon's Nest. Several craftsmen in service to House Zamail are contributing to the restoration of Falcon's Nest. These men and women are quite skilled at building and repairing fortifications, but their progress has been hampered by a number of factors. Their foreman, tells me he has need of a man with your talents. Would you be so kind as to seek him out? Can do. Roth, how do you say your name? And where are you? Oh. Roth. I'm gonna go with that. Yes, I'm Roth, and who might you be? Ah, the promised help. Glad to have you aboard. I have the honor of overseeing this fine mess you see before you. Sent me over on one of them black birds, same as you, to build and mend and tell others how to build and mend. But fury take me this ice. It's bloody unnatural how fast it forms. It's icicle sprites, I tell you. Mark my words, there are pockets of them here and there, just waiting for me to turn my back so they can sneak out and do their dirty work. So I need you to search the hamlet and put an end to it. If you stand watch long enough, you're sure to find them. All right, I am on the job. They're just kind of everywhere around here. Time to shake the rust off of these dragoon skills. Such as they were. Icicle sprites. Haha! I found you. Boing. I love my jumps. Almost as much as I love this really cozy getup. You look so comfortable. By the way, if you are just joining for Heavensward, if you didn't watch the Realm Reborn playthrough that we already did, just to kind of let you know how the flow of this playthrough is going to be, I leave in all interesting story stuff and cut out pretty much everything that is tedious or boring. Any grinding that has to get done, any busy work, a lot of fighting if it's just going to be kind of the same old, and not all that interesting. I streamline that out so we can just get through the story a little bit more efficiently. And I leave in only as much as you need to sort of establish context and sort of set the tone and the mood and all that. So if you see any cross-fading or cutting ahead when there's a whole bunch of fights, that's just me not making you sit through and watch all that stuff. I figure if you wanted to see every second of this MMO being played, you'd be playing it. And I highly recommend you do. Honestly, if you want to join us, we have a pretty lovely guild, or free company, as they're called in this game, the Dantalis Theater Company, or DTC. If you want to find any details for how to join the fun, and possibly even join Durmin here for some dungeon runs and group content, there is a link to a fan community Discord down in the description that you can find more details at. They're lovely people. I highly recommend it. Ha! Now there's a man that what looks like he's found his marks. You're just the sort we need around here. The kind that'll hop to when he sees a task undone. Literally, sir, I am a dragoon. Speaking of which, thank you for the gear. I'm not changing into it because I look too comfortable. Let's go a little longer. It's our first Heavensward episode. Let's have some fun. Good help is hard to find. A sad truth that Roth knows well. You're a dab hand at warcraft, I can tell. Not that I've any skill at arms to speak of, mind, but it doesn't take an expert to recognize expertise. Be a waste to keep you to myself when there are others out what need help, same as me. So if you're keen to keep on doing what you've done, I'd ask you head north to the Pike, the bloody huge statue out on the wastes, if you've never been. Mason by the name of Thieramont is out there, tending to the thing. Good man, Thieramont, but I reckon he's taken on too much work for one. Might be there's something you can do for him. I will see to it. Thank you. All right, out and into the wastes. Now, if you are new to Heavensward, if this is your first time, something that you might be interested in, or maybe not, I don't know. The map size from Heavensward onward for each of these areas gets considerably larger. Like, we are here, and this zone is big. Every zone from here on is somewhat big. There are fewer of them. It basically just take, like, if you took all of the different regions of Thanalin and smashed them together into one zone, you'd get something like this. So, that is their approach henceforth. And eventually you can get the ability to fly in all of them, which is nice, but it takes a little bit of doing, a little bit of work, which I will largely be doing off camera, again, to save you all time. Unlike what I'm doing right now, rambling. Let's get to where we're going. Cool statue, though. Thieramont, I'm here to help. Hail to you, traveler. What brings you out this way? Foreman Roth bid you assist me? Well, far be it from me to turn down a helping hand. I've been tasked with the restoration of this sculpture. 5 years of neglect have not been kind, to say the least. Fortunately, I've just the thing for it. Rather, those deep eyes have it. If you could slay 3 and bring me their bristles, I'd be in your debt. Ah. MMO tasks. I can help. Alright, you tiny... cute thing? It's like 80% cute. And the rest is just a little upsetting. It's the eye, I think. The giant eye. Yes. Yes, that's the problem. Anyway. Bristles obtained, sir. What else you need? There you are. Have you the bristles? Yes. Thick, deep gray bristles sheared from a wild beast. Ah, feel how coarse that is? That's why they're so perfect for scrubbing the soot from the statue. Beautiful, isn't it? The spitting image of Haldrath, first of the Azure Dragoons and one of Ishgard's founding fathers. A symbol of everything the Dravanians despise, which is why they've taken to searing it with dragonfire every time they pass by. But no longer will we suffer this desecration of our nation's hero. Soon this statue will be as it once was, a proud, shining testament to the determination of Ishgard, and a message to the heretics that we've returned. The work may be hard and the conditions harsh, but as a proud Ishgardian, I could ask for no greater honor. Proud people indeed. And so tall. Before you return to Falcon's Nest, Thieramont has a favor to ask. Are you for Falcon's Nest? If so, I have a favor to ask. Oh, do tell. There's this knight, Sir Isidore, stationed to the anvil to the west of here. She's always treated me with kindness and respect, more than I deserve, to be honest. And he wrote, while you were away, she came through on patrol, and I think she might have left a package behind. It's a bit of a detour, but would you mind returning it to her? And my thanks to you, friend. I'm on the job. And on my chocobo, whom, if you've not met, is named Quayfriend. They're pink, and I love them. Let's see, looks like we're headed up to this somewhat ruined structure here. There you are. Isidore. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. What's that? A package. I haven't the foggiest what you're talking about. A once hot package unintentionally left by Isidore to cool in the frigid highland winds. Confound it, that fool of a... what a waste. It was a gift, adventurer. Thieramont labors day and night without regard for his own well-being. At the very least, he ought to try to eat better. Why not simply give it to him? By the Fury, have you no sense of decorum? A highborn knight cannot be seen favoring a lowborn mason in such a manner. Nevertheless, I appreciate your concern, as well as your willingness to assist the Arimal. May your journey back to Falcon's Nest be safe and swift. Pray give my regards to Sir Redwald.
That I will. Starting to get a sense for how things work around here. Sir Redwald, task complete.
I must applaud your initiative, Master Durami. Roth tells me you've been quite busy. Alas, we've not the time to thank you properly. I have a task to which I would commit all able-bodied men and women, you and Lord Artorwell included.
Oh, well, goodness. I'm happy to help, but I think I'm going to be happy to help next time. Thank you all so very much for watching. I'm so excited to be getting started into Heavensward. There is so much cool stuff ahead, you guys have no idea. Again, like I've said it plenty of times, but if this is your first time watching this Final Fantasy XIV story mode series, as we get further into these, like, some expansions in this game are some of my favorite Final Fantasy stories, period. And Heavensward is an extremely good one, so there's lots to look forward to. If you're enjoying this and you want to support the series, please consider subscribing to the channel, or we do have a Patreon if you want to throw us like $1 or $2 a month. That also helps us a lot, and we very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, though, and I will see you on Wednesday for some more Final Fantasy XIV story mode. Do take care until then, and goodbye.